Hi, I'm Aniki Nippon. Today I came across a video by Defense of Nalts about this Geek Squad video that he was video recording today, and I saw the response by another user who I'm going to provide a link in the bottom. Without his permission, by the way. I know that might seem illegal in his eyes, but it's not. But anyways, first thing I want to say up front is, one, I am not a lawyer, so do not take my video as legal advice in any way, form, or fashion. I am not an attorney. I am not certified to practice law. I am not giving legal advice on the grounds that you can use this for your personal protection in a court of law. So please, anything I say from now on in this video, do not use it in court of law to defend yourself in a case. But with that said, the response video that I saw to this video on, videotaping the Geek Squad and then getting pulled over and getting a ticket for reckless driving is, the response video I think was weak. It was an emotional appeal. He was saying things like, "Oh, what if your wife and kids got videotaped without your permission? How would you like it? Blah blah blah." And it's like, well, okay, that's a great emotional appeal, but the real issue here is law. Can you videotape anybody from the sidewalk, a publicly funded street or road? Yes, you can. There is nothing illegal about it. Just as much if you were videotaping the road while you were driving, there's nothing illegal about it. Perhaps you can have a reckless driving charge if you're holding the camera in your hands and the officer determined it was reckless for you to be holding that camera at the same time. But if the reckless driving charge was for stepping outside of the vehicle and handing a business card to one of the Geek Squad guys, it might put you in slight a bit of danger. But I don't see how that would be illegal, especially when it's a red light. Although it's uncommon and unorthodox, it's like, what if he punched you in the face? And all these crazy questions came up in this response video. But they have nothing to do with the subject of whether or not it was legal for him to do so in the first place. Law and emotions are separate. Just because you feel the Second Amendment means that you have a right to purchase a machine gun or nuclear weapon because it might come in use during the time of a revolution has nothing to do whether or not it actually is legal. And you can look those court cases up online as much as you like. Much in the same way, freedom of speech doesn't entail you. I know a lot of people says if you silence anybody in any way, it's not free speech, and therefore it should be legal for you to say whatever the fuck you want and so on. I mean, some people do say that, but I mean, it doesn't take away serious, legitimate death threats against other people. Specific threats, I mean, of course the officers, if they're trying to determine these kinds of things, have to go through it, but of course, I mean, that if you say you can't say you want to kill somebody, would that constitution, would that break the constitutional law of free speech? Of course it doesn't. But when it comes to the issue of whether or not, that's taking away from freedoms, of course it is. But again, the law, and especially the constitutional law, does not protect free speech as meaning you have the right to say how much you want to kill somebody else. That's not protected speech. So again, these emotional issues of whether or not somebody was in the right or wrong on the matter of on emotions, and saying, what if the guy stepped out of the vehicle and punched you in the face? I would sue him. I'd call 911 and say, this guy punched me in my face for no reason. Because if somebody was stupid enough to punch you in the face for no reason at all because they were scared or whatever, does not give justification for them to do so. You know, I mean, how is that even tied to whether or not the videotaping somebody is a matter of free speech or not? It's kind of like if an officer gets videotaped in public, he can't say anything against it. He's a public officer. He's a public official, and he's out there in the streets. And there's no law, even if he tells you to put the video camera down, technically you don't have to. There's no law saying that you do. Of course, situational, like if it's a situation that's can put somebody in danger, then it could be an issue. But I don't see how it's necessarily illegal to disobey an unlawful request by a law enforcement official. So, again, I mean, these are all issues up to the judge anyways. The judge is going to determine whether or not being parked at a red light constitutes reckless driving after getting out of the car and handing a business card over to somebody and letting your presence known to that individual. I don't know how that's reckless driving, but the best I can recommend in any case, of course, is to get a good lawyer and hope for the best, because that's what they're there for. You know, I'm not a legal expert, and most people aren't legal experts unless they're lawyers. So, yeah, that's the best I can hope for, and I hope you enjoy this video. Give me a thumbs up and please subscribe.